Okay, well, here we are for the last episode of season 3, which is actually amazing. I can't believe, time has just been crazy for the last 9 months. And as always, we've got our fantastic producer in the studio as well, Jenna Clemente, and she's putting me back in the hot seat today, asking me about the season, all the big takeaways, and where we're at, where we started, and the journey as well. Jenna, I'm going to hand it over to you. Everybody knows Jenna. You could perhaps.
Hello everyone, it's good to be back. I can't believe it's season finale, third season. We've killed it this year.
Yeah, it just felt like yesterday when when you first talked to me. I've ever considered a podcast. I said,
And now look at you.
Well, yeah, I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
Yeah. Well, this season has definitely been the best one yet, I think.
I think it's been exciting. Yes,
Yeah.
it's been really been exciting. And what's great about this podcast, and every time at the end of a season when we've got this kind of wrap ups, I'm just thinking how much information actually is out there. It's stuff that you actually you don't get it at university, you don't get it in business books. It's just like the guests we got on and the information we try, put it in practical.
Yeah, it's actually
Practical
learning
ways
from
out
people
there.
who have done it and not just learned
Yeah,
about
he's
it,
actually
which is really
walked the
good.
talk.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what have been some of your favorite moments this season?
Favorite moments this season was, well, obviously I've been in the States.
Yeah.
That was amazing. Yeah, that was a beautiful, and we'll obviously I did cover one episode on it, and we'll probably talk about it a bit more. I guess all the different guests I got on, things that I've learned. I guess the favorite one was perhaps the nerdiest one. Not to not to give it a.
Is it going to be the
The AI one. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, everyone's obsessed with AI at the moment.
I'm not obsessed with it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's just it's too. We're obviously going to talk about it. But I think it's just like I've always been very hesitant with AI and everything about the tech and stuff. And just give me my phone. I just want a phone and I just want to text and that's it. And I just want to write an email.
Yeah.
And I want to. If I want to write a report, I'll write a report myself. And if I do a model, I do it a model. But it's actually quite amazing what is out there and view and how we can view stuff sometimes. So
And it's only just beginning.
Yeah.
I was speaking to someone yesterday where they say AI hasn't even begun.
yeah,
It's really like 20, 30, 50 years in the future. That's when it's going to be at its peak. So it'll be interesting to see.
I don't know if
where it
it's
comes.
20, 30 years. I think it's
Yeah.
growing so rapidly. It's all exponential. I mean,
Potentially, we won't be able to know what it's capable of.
I think last year
Yeah.
this time probably like 10% of the population heard about ChatGPT. And now it's
Potentially.
about 80% of business people are using ChatGPT on a daily basis.
I would
isn't it?
say, but
or the other programs.
yeah, but I would still say ChatGPT is probably like the most basic way to use AI. I think when they're
Oh, we haven't. Yeah.
it has. I think what they were trying to say is hasn't scratched the surface of what it could achieve.
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't know. We could be
We'll have
very
to
excited,
keep
or we could be
touching on it.
very scared.
Well, what have been some
Yeah.
of your like most surprising lessons that you've learnt from some of your guests this season?
I guess, yes. I mean, it's easy to say I wasn't surprised, but I've learned every time I had a guest on. It's like, so a lot of these people I knew for a very long time, and I see them at functions or networking events, or some of them are my clients, and you speak to them, but every now and again, out of an episode, a penny drop. For instance, the story of Rory, for instance, how he actually, when I know Rory as the business person, the hardcore manager as well, and to understand where he actually came from. And he did mention some stuff, in the past when we had a drink after a meeting or whatever, but like that was a raw episode. That was great. I talked about the AI interview, the one I had with Trevor. I knew Trevor as well quite a long time. Actually, surprisingly, he's South African as well, but not. I've met him here in Adelaide. the way that he talked about marketing again, and surprising stuff that he said is how many people are actually involved in social media and actually, working on and analyzing their,
The data.
their rates and
Yeah,
their
the
data
customer.
as well. So that was quite, and then obviously the interview I had with organic box with Vanessa and Jason, where they talked about the whole thing about food and how involved, how hard it is to actually get across the line, and that people are people are perhaps looking differently at what we eat and how we eat, perhaps.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big one coming
Yes,
into the new
yeah,
year.
yeah.
Well, I think you touched on it a bit, but the first episode was with Rory.
Before, yes,
Um, and he did have a lot to share about his personal journey and
yes,
on resilience and always like getting up after you've fallen down.
yeah.
What piece of advice really resonated from like his episode and his experiences?
From my personal point of view, is what he said at some stage, and he had a few falls, and I played the rocky music for him
Yeah.
as well, like getting down, getting up, and all the mistakes he's made, and then one mistake, and then decided that's it. He's just gonna go back to the bare basics. Um, I don't know exactly, Rory, if you're listening, and I'm not, I might be wrong, but pack his bags, explain to his wife, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna reinvent myself. I'm gonna, stop smoking, stop drinking. Looked at his diet, and then he took a book with him, which his mentor Rob proposed to him. I think the writer is Eckhart Tolle. It's a new world, or something about a purpose in life. So he threw his ego out of the window, and really come back, and decided with the attitude is that he, or we as business people, we are the captain of our business. We are not the business itself, and and everybody's depending on us to keep this boat afloat as well. So that's the difference. Where you actually let go of all your ego, you stay fixed on your vision, you stay fixed on your purpose, you make sure your business is viable. If you get new ideas, go back to the drawing board, map it all out. Is this going to work? It's not about turnover. What do we always say? Turnover is for vanity, profit is for sanity. And that's what
Cash is king.
cash is king and GP is queen.
Yes.
Anyway, it's
Yes.
me about my GP thing. But it's so many people are out there in business. Oh, what did you make last month? Oh, I've made like 100,000 in sales. Wow, wow, gee, you must be creaming it. Yeah.
Yeah.
When are you going to get a new Audi? Oh, no, it's already ordered. But then they go and see, they say, oh, I've only made a 2% net profit on that 100,000
Yes.
by
Yeah.
not digging into their numbers, by not staying close to their vision, purpose, and not letting go of
Their ego,
the
really.
ego,
I think that's
perhaps.
what he really spoke about, having your ego tied to your business.
I guess ego is, I don't know, not that I want to get all philosophical, but ego in a way is a good thing. It helps us. It's part of our genetics. It's part of our survival. It helps you. You
Yeah.
don't want stuff to become toxic, perhaps, in a way.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my little thing about
Yeah.
philosophy for the day.
Yeah, so we got a
Yeah.
lot from that episode, and it
Yeah.
was a big bang to start the season.
It was a big bang.
Yeah.
And Rory is, Rory, again, if you're listening, mate, good on you. Good on you. Rory is also involved as a mentor today. He's also, as me, involved with, associated to the Polaris Group, and mentoring other businesses in that area as well.
Yeah, passing on his knowledge.
Yes.
Well, that's good. And
Yeah.
now, like the second episode, your techie,
My
your
techie mates.
episode. Yeah,
Yeah.
your techie mates. You
Yes.
had
I had Raf.
Brett in.
Raf Stamachi and Brett Moffat. Raf Stamachi, we sort of like gave him we baptized him as the digitapreneur,
Yes.
which because he likes business, he knows his numbers, he's bloody clued up with techie stuff, and
Yep.
he can, let him go, and he can talk for ages about how uh, the tech stuff is involved with business as well. And then we got Brett. Brett is, he called himself the chief nerd of his company, which is Systematics. But yeah, he's not a nerd at all. He's bloody cluey,
Yeah.
and he understands exactly how, because he's actually qualified as a cyber security expert, but understand the AI as well and how AI fits into the whole scenario. So he he's very out of there. Say if it's there, use it, but make sure you use it correctly.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah. Well, really, from that
yeah,
episode, what and their takeaways, where do you think AI is going in the next 5 years, and how can small business owners actually
yeah.
utilize it?
I think what came out of that meeting we had, or I had with Brett and Raf, is AI is there for us to use, which I've just said. It's going to evolve at a quite a rapid pace, as we just spoke about. But it is something I believe if we handle it right and handle it with respect, everything that it's the world is full of dangers. But if we handle it with respect, it can really help us being more in charge of our business, be focused on our business, be more customer driven. It sounds like a paradox or ironic actually. It's like how can you be more customer driven if you let me talk to robots every time I call you? you know?
Yeah.
But I think it's focusing on getting the automation and the robotics and the stuff that you can do with AI for all the competitive kind of tasks as well, that we as business owners and our staff can really focus on what we're here for in business, and that is to focus on our customers, to really help them to achieve their goals by creating good products for them, good service, giving them the best prices, making sure that the product they're going to receive is actually going to fulfill all their desires and needs that are actually wanted from that product. So it's very it's very complex, I reckon. You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I, I, if I remember correctly, if you don't use it, then you're not like if you're not utilizing it, then
yeah,
you're not ahead of the curve. Or they were really encouraging business owners to use AI to increase productivity, not necessarily to
yeah,
replace someone in
yeah.
that role.
To increase productivity, which is again sounds like a paradox or
Yeah.
ironic. It sounds funny because you're going to get robots to everything. How can we be more productive? But I think it's productive with the soft issues in business, which is a lot of business owners that we lack it today.
Yes. Yeah.
We can use AI to create financial models. We can use AI to do our bookkeeping today. Bookkeeper just have to feed the
Yeah, it's
receipts through,
crazy. Well, you
basically.
got to be careful with what you're feeding it because it remembers everything.
It remembers everything and everything you
Yeah.
tell, and that's and that's a story about. Well, it's actually GAI, generative artificial intelligence, and not artificial insemination, as I first thought, because I grew up next to a dairy farm. But it's generative AI. Generative is the fact that you prompt something to be done, and you get a response. So if you can tell, hey, Chat GPT, I want to know what is the best ways to go about to service my motor, and then you'll get a response back. But it's all about prompt as well, and that is what we as humans got to learn, is how to give good prompts, because your answer is only as good as the question that you're going to present,
Yeah,
basically.
that's true. You
Yeah,
can't answer a question that hasn't been asked.
yeah,
Well, surprisingly, and as you
yeah.
mentioned before, while these episodes were being released, you were away enjoying America.
I was, yes,
Yes.
yes.
Well, tell me a little bit about your time away because it actually inspired a little special announcement that you actually ended up launching in episode 3.
I did, yes. I did said I'm gonna announce, and I've been keeping announcing it. So,
Yeah.
so it's
Maybe
gonna.
we'll get the official announcement today.
We'll get an official announcement
Yeah.
today. That's right. Yes, I was. I flew from Adelaide to Melbourne, in Melbourne to San Francisco. I stayed over for a day in San Francisco. Then went over to Dallas, which was great with my mate and his wife, and learn and need understand how they live and meet their friends and the rest of their families as well. So that was a great great little rest for me. And then I went to Colorado, which is all, I never really knew about Colorado. I knew about a river and I knew there was a state, and I heard of John Denver songs. But it's such an amazing place if you like outdoors, if you like the mountains, if you like, you know, do whitewater rafting. If we weren't there in skiing season, but it's it's obviously a skiing heaven as well.
Right.
And not that we can do it here in Australia is magnificent. You just go to the snowy mountains, or to the Flinders for that matter as well. But the the business some the business owners that I spoke to, people with their breweries, the people in tourism there, the people on the train that I've met, all sort of made the thing is like, on what we got in on earth is something really special, and we want to live out our passion, and we want to give it to the world in an extraordinary way. We want to basically give, but we as business people, we understand that we're business people, so we've got to work in our business to make a profit, and that is the whole thing about sustainability. So I sat down a lot of places, next to a river or on a mountaintop or in a trail, and start writing about what how can we get more clarity in our business. Really, I mean, again, if I say it again in this podcast, just kick me out. About focusing on your purpose and your vision and your
Right.
passion and your viability of your business. So
Well, it is very important. So, you
yeah,
do have to keep saying it until
yeah,
it sticks.
yeah, that's right. If you guys getting fed up, just click go to the next podcast or whatever.
No, we don't want
But
that.
you have to come
Stay.
back, because it's very very important stuff we talk here about.
As you mentioned, you also interviewed Trevor, who was really a marketing guru. What were some of the strategies that he spoke about with you that small businesses could implement to really like thrive in 2025?
Yeah, he's all about. He wrote a book about loyalty clubs, and getting really in touch with your customers, which is really the point, really going to give you that point of marketing as well, and being, to analyze your data. To if you're putting ads out there, make sure that it's working, get that conversion rate. So keep on analyzing, keep on perfecting what you're doing. And we as business owners is a very large part in Australia. We are 4.7 million people are directly or indirectly related to small business in the country. So it's, you know, it, and it's always hard to compete against the corporates when you think about, it's the big banks and the big pharmaceuticals and the big um, supermarkets. But we as business owners need to establish our little place here. So we really got to put a word out, and it doesn't have to be expensive. Social media is great. Um, Being out there and using your email marketing, for instance. And he also mentioned the fact that, there's the great example is if you own a bakery somewhere, make sure that everybody who comes in there, get him on some sort of system and understand and try to figure out when's their birthday. So give out loyalty cards, get the people to, if it's your birthday or Father's Day, say all the dads coming in here, you get a free coffee today. And the dad will say, hey, bargain. He'll come in there with his whole family, and everybody else going to get a coffee, and everybody else going to get pies, and they're going to get donuts, and they got to get, you know, so
Yeah.
so one free coffee will will help you generate a lot more income as well, and being close to that customer.
Yeah, I think it's a good
Yeah,
idea. They used to do at basketball games when,
yeah,
oh, I don't know what when they got a certain amount of goals or whatever. Everyone in the crowd got a free hamburger from Hungry Jack's.
yeah,
And I asked once, I'm like, why would they do this? And they're like, well, if you go for one free hamburgers, I think it's a cheeseburger now.
yeah,
If you go for a cheeseburger, you're not always just going to get a cheeseburger. You're going to get fries. You're going to get a Coke. You're going to get another meal.
mm,
You're going to get more upsells. And if a whole arena of people are going to Hungry
yeah.
Jack's, that's a lot of profit for them from
Oh,
one free
definitely, yeah.
cheeseburger. So it is a really good marketing
Mm,
strategy. And I guess that kind of comes into when you're doing your marketing strategy, what type of KPIs should people really be looking out for?
Yeah, well, like I said, it's the conversion rates. It's making sure that, you know, is it bringing your mileage to the table as well, and on what products would you spend it? Now, Trevor also mentioned the fact that we got the the matrix, which is called the Boston Consult, the BCG matrix, where you can see which products is in a market where there's a good growth rate and you've got a good market share, but in the same, you know, one of your projects could be what we refer to in business as a dog, which is in a low quadrant. You know, it's a low growth rate and it's a low market share, and then some products would be low market share but in a growth market, which we call the question mark. So that's probably when you want to put, and you can see the potential that will happen if you put a lot of marketing effort behind a product, like for instance the question mark as well. Then you get obviously your cash cows, which is, it's sort of like a stable market, or market's dribbling down. You might have a good market share, but you can go and just reap the benefits until it lasts, basically.
So why not? Why wouldn't you take the time to figure it all out?
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it. You know, again,
Yeah.
so it's again crunching the numbers, but in a different way. It's not crunching financial stats, perhaps a little bit more exciting because you can actually see,
Where the money's coming in.
yeah, where the money is coming in, where's going out, how does it, you know, you can track it on, and don't ask me. I mean, you're a better, you know, you're a much better person than when
Oh,
it comes to
thank you.
social media. But what kind
Yeah.
of track rates do you get on your, you know, you throw out a TikTok ad and it's like a sprayer, so it just sprays a lot of grass, but every
Yeah.
little grass bead is going to get a little bit of water. Where you can use a different system, like perhaps LinkedIn, for, you know, for where you can actually target direct kind of
Yeah.
customers.
I
It's
think
more
it
like
just comes
a
down to
laser
your
focused hose or something.
yeah, it comes down to what your marketing strategy is,
What your marketing
who your
strategy?
clientele is, what platform is actually better for you. But oh, that
Mm,
could be a whole episode in and of itself.
yeah.
Right now, I'd love to talk to you about, organic box. So you had, Vanessa and Jason in.
Vanessa and Jason from Gurmaraka Organic Box, a lovely
Yeah,
couple, great history. They also, like Rory, had his struggles in the business. They both basically came. I mean, Vanessa started a business a few years before Jason joined her, and I think she just had a turnaround in life and decided she wants to, you know, she
live
had
a
a few
healthier.
scares, and
Yeah,
and and see, isn't life about, see what's out there? I mean, at the end of the day, you are what you eat. So if, you
I
know, if you're
agree.
going to
Yeah.
change your body free of chemicals into your body, organically grown, is that really better than what we
Oh,
used to as mainstream consumers?
oh, I
Yeah,
think so. I mean, we could
yeah,
deep dive into this one, but I'd really love to talk about
yeah,
their episode and their business because they're really combining their passion, their way of life,
yeah.
with a business. And how do you think that like the scalability and the sustainability is for a company like that is all about passion and living a healthier
It
lifestyle?
is, yeah, and it's also about the costing, because it's,
Mm.
when you think about it, it's much harder getting a product out there that's not, you know, you can't use any kind of chemical in the market. You know, you got to prepare the soil a different way as well. So the costs, the market is much smaller, but it's a concentrated market. So you can really focus on that market. You can really focus on your consumers. You know, and I love the fact that Vanessa told me she loves her customers as well. And Jason, you know, you can see the love that he's got for his product, being out there in the fields, making sure that everything grows as it's supposed to grow as well. But then I get setbacks. I get ducks and kangaroos and frost and
Yeah. And they've got a different business model as well. It's all subscription.
subscription base. Yes,
It's subscription based e-commerce.
yeah.
I know they mentioned the farm, but you can't actually go to the farm to purchase anything,
No,
right?
you can't. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think they got into a retail. Might be. I think in the developments is getting a bit of a retail shop as well, which is
Okay.
great. Yeah, subscription basis is probably a way to go as well. And I talked about, we'll get to it later, about value-based pricing as well. Perhaps that's where the world want to move towards. Is we all live with budgets, so you know, if if I spend perhaps $50 a week on weeks on extra vitamins to supplement my current diet, what if I stop where I'm currently buying and can my vitamins? Not I say can, um, stop eating and
Yeah.
can you, but what if I put that kind of money or that budget into organic, fresh
Yeah.
produce?
Well, just replacing the vitamins
Yeah,
and getting the nutrients straight from the source.
straight from the source. It's
Mm.
from the paddock to the plate. So I love that business model. I'm all about what kind of business model do you use,
Yeah.
and I think it's great because there's not a lot of people in between, as
No.
dealers or
No.
retailers. So the margin could be much higher, but it's very concentrated marketing, very exceptional marketing, delivering exceptional service, and really finding the point of difference, which is all focusing on health as well.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. Not that I'm saying, and I'm no expert at all. Please don't hold me to this. I'm no expert to tell you that a bunch of carrots from organic box is 10 times better than a bunch of carrots that you're going to buy at Aldi. I don't want to go into that
Yeah.
area, but
Oh, we won't touch on that. We won't touch on that.
yeah, but it is.
Yeah, it was a really good episode, and I would definitely be interested to hear more about their business model because I don't think we really touched on that in the episode of like the subscription based model because it's
Mm,
very different to what a lot of other businesses are doing, and it's very up and coming actually. A
it
lot of
is.
businesses are starting to catch on to the subscription
That's right.
model thing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've got another story I can actually mention to you, that podcast that I listened to recently. It's all to do with pricing as well. Apparently, there's in America, Porsche, the people they moved away that you don't. I mean, there's people can still go and they can buy a Porsche, whatever car, but there's another product that you pay a monthly subscription fee, or which is different than a lease, and you can have any car that you want for how long you want it or how much mileage you do, and they
Wow.
work it all into the price as well.
Oh,
So
I
if you
haven't heard
decide
of that
I'm going
before.
camping this weekend with my mates, you can get like a Porsche, um, SUV kind
Okay.
of thing.
I
If
don't
if
know
you
if I'd
say,
take a push to
you
a
know,
camping trip, but
yeah, if I say,
yeah,
well,
why not?
my son is getting married, and I want
Yeah.
to I want to drive their marriage car, so I'm going to get myself a fancy 911. Or probably it's only for new vehicles,
Okay.
but you can get a nice car. So that's
Wow.
and people pay a subscription. So I mean, yeah, we probably can cover that as well.
Wow.
Netflix, and
Yeah.
how Netflix is working on that
Oh,
same
I think this is
model.
a
That
whole new episode, I reckon, when we
Yeah,
touch
so
on pricing next
subscriptions
one.
is really out there, and people
Yeah.
say, "What? But how? I mean, you're going to get broke, or I'm going to get a very good deal." But it's all about how you present it, and you got to do your numbers behind it as well. So,
Yeah.
and that's why, coming back to organic box, I think that's what organic box is trying to put across
Yeah.
to
I
the
think it's
people, is
very
make it
smart.
easy, make it budget. Don't tell the people like, oh yeah, you can, like my carrots or my tomatoes is this much per kilogram, but give me $100 a week or $150 a week, and I'll give you a box that's in season, and it's gonna be able to feed you and or feed a small family for
Yeah.
a week or whatever, for
And
that
it takes
matter.
that
Yeah,
process away because you
yeah,
subscribe, it comes, you don't have to go to the shops, you
yeah,
don't have to think about
yeah.
what's in season, what's good because
Mm,
not everything that you find in a supermarket is in season
mm.
and good for you. So it is nice to have that
Yeah,
delivered straight to your door.
that is. I mean, it's probably different than the one that's very famous, Hello Fresh as well,
Yes.
something
Oh
like that. It's a
yeah,
different,
that's
it's a different model again, where they
yeah.
actually give you uh,
The
the
recipes.
recipe, and they give everything
Yeah.
to you. But it depends what kind of market you're in. I think
Yeah.
it's not it's not certified organic stuff, but it's still fresh and it's still good to eat, and it takes the pain of working out your menus before. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's very targeted towards your market today.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
I think it's a brilliant idea. Well,
yeah,
one of your episodes, the next one you did, it was a little bit different. You talked about intellectual property with Liz.
Liz Holland Clark, yes.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Well, from your interview, what
Yeah.
were some of the biggest pitfalls that business owners kept falling into with property?
That's right, registering your business name or your trademark for that matter. Now, I think a lot of people out there, and I'm not lying, I probably fell in the same trap myself a few times, is when you start a business company, you register it with ASIC, which is the Australian Security and Investment Corporation, something like that, or Commission. And they regulate all the business name and all the ABN numbers and all the company numbers. So I register your number man with ASIC. I'm thinking, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm registered.
Yeah.
But it's not, because that registration name is only for for business, for to get you on the roll, and that's what your business is. But anybody else can come in and actually take that name from me and go and register it with IP Australia, which is Intellectual Property Australia. So if you want to secure your business brand or your business name or your trademark, it has to be through IP Australia to make sure that it's protected. No one else can go and form another branch. If you make good, I think I used the analogy that you start a fish and chip shop is, you call it get hooked or
Yeah.
whatever. And you don't protect that name, and then somebody else can take something similar like Hooked on Soul, for that matter, and they're going to open that business somewhere else and register it, and they can say, yeah, but this guy who originally started the fish and chip shop 2 blocks away, get hooked, you got to get stuffed because
Yeah, pretty much.
that's hooked is in my name now or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, it
So
was interesting to learn about that. And
yeah,
I have heard about businesses who have come up against these issues because someone, not even in SA, someone in Melbourne, someone in Sydney,
yeah,
have registered the same name, trademarked it,
yeah,
even though you've been a business for way longer than they have.
yeah.
You are the one that has to change your name. So it was interesting to kind of like hear that and be
Yeah,
reminded of
yeah.
that.
Oh, you can do it yourself as well. I mean, you can go to IP Australia and you're going to spend probably 2 days
Yeah,
on
trying to
there and
figure
like,
it
okay,
out.
what class am I on? Am I entertainment? If you're running a
Yeah.
mobile disco, am I entertainment or am I an audio or am I in, new age kind of stuff or whatever? So,
Yeah.
and then
Gosh.
you got to put a class in there. What I try to get out of Liz, and Liz, if you're listening, I don't blame you. It's very hard to say. What I try to get out of Liz is to give us a ballpark figure. Is it going to cost you
No.
$1,000, $2,000, $3,000?
I think it's probably different for every
Was it?
business.
It's
Yeah.
very hard
Yeah.
because you have to. You can't just say how long is a piece of string.
Exactly.
So so people like Liz are out there. So you can always call Liz, or you can call another person that's specialized in trademarks, and ask that person to give you indication what kind of work is involved, and ask them then from a brief give you a bit of a costing on it, or you do it yourself. But there's so many.
Take you a lot of
It
time.
is it's and people with a legal kind of mindset look at it differently as well. If you perhaps were involved with law companies, if you studied law, you'll have a different kind of mindset
Yeah.
than a bean counter for that matter as well. That's just interested in numbers and how to get the best margins out of stuff.
Yeah.
So use the people that specialist as well in it.
Yeah, I think
For that
so.
matter.
Save yourself some time,
So that
potentially heartache in the long run, and
yeah, it was a great discussion. I think it's about trademarks, business names, and make sure you protect it as well. And the other thing that I thought is, okay, if you registered with IP Australia, are you okay for the whole world? No, you're not. Apparently, you've got to
you've got to do every single
do every,
country.
but
You'll be safe in Australia
and
as long as you don't want to move out of
yeah,
Australia.
yeah.
You'll be all right.
That's right. Fish and chip shop, no problem.
Yeah.
Or nice if you're selling Aussie swags or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
you'll
good.
be
Mind you,
all right.
Aussie swags will probably. That's a good idea. That will probably go down in the
Yeah.
great outdoors in America as well, for that
Okay.
matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the people are crazy. But you're from Australia, mate. Oh, that's nice.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
big market.
Yeah. Everybody wants to come here. And, I want to go and I want to go to Outback. And,
Oh, all right.
I want to go to Bondi.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I say, yeah, it's
Well, you've had
yeah,
some really, really good interviews
yeah.
this season. One in particular was your roundtable episode with Rob and Susanna.
That's yeah, that was a great episode. I forgot to mention that in the beginning as well. One of my favorite ones as well. We had with Rob Chisholm from the Polaris. He's I've known him for probably a good 5 or 6 years now, and we sort of involved with the AMPS program, which stands for Advanced Mentoring and Management Program. So on a monthly basis, Rob and I would actually spend time with some of Polaris clients and help them through strategic business decisions. We look at finances, we look at operations, and really, and Rob offering all this mentoring skills where I probably focus a bit more of the operational number kind of background as well. So that's
Yeah.
how I know Rob. And Rob came in and shared his wisdom as well. And then we had Susanna in the studio as well.
Yeah, first time guest
And
with the return guest of Rob. That
yes,
was a good mix, I think. I
it
think it
was a good
invited,
mix, yeah.
yeah.
And Susanna's also, she's got her own property business, Maya Paul.
Yep.
And she, I really liked the way that she talked about her business and her culture and the way that she looked at problems and always stay fixed on the vision of the business and the viability of the business and make sure that you get purpose out of what you do and purpose out of your team as well. And she also explained what was actually interesting out of, and I later thought about it when she talked about one of her employees came to her and said, Susanna, actually, I actually want to be a midwife.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
that's my career path. And this person, she thought Susanna's going to go off a rocker. Like,
Yeah.
why do you want to leave me? But Susanna thought about it, and she decided it's in her interest to help the staff and the team to evolve. If it's something that you really want to do in your life, why should you stand against it?
Yep.
And then this lady went on, she's done the course or the university degree or whatever, and then decided, well, actually, now she's done it, but it's actually what drove her was just to be able to hold that baby. It's not a whole
Yeah.
procedure behind it as well. And then she came back to Susanna. Now, what would have been the case is Susanna said, no, I'm not going to support you. You go and don't you go and do whatever you want to do and blah blah blah.
Yeah, I think she really highlighted that business is
Yeah,
about people at the end of
it
the
is
day.
about people. Yes.
And then to get the best from people, you actually have to care about them.
Yeah.
I think in the end she
Yeah.
said that the woman didn't actually end up leaving the company. She ended up staying,
She
but
came back.
she was
Yeah.
able to explore that interest.
You don't burn your bridges with your past employees, and your employees don't build their
Yeah,
bridges with
no,
with the
exactly right.
employers.
That episode was really focusing on like
Mm,
mentoring and scaling and strategic planning. What were some of the
yeah.
big key takeaways that business owners could get from that episode?
When you look at your strategy plan again, understand where you are now and where you want to, how you see yourself in the business, and perhaps write that plan down. It's like, um, am I confusing it? The drop said in that meeting is when you put something out there for you, you automatically you'll put things in place to drag you towards a certain point.
I think so.
Or
I think when
am I
you put it,
confusing it with another podcast? But I think it's something in that
yeah,
line that Drop talked about as well. If you have that meet, and the fact that you need, a strategy you need to separate yourself sometimes from the business. It's like a person in a maze looking around where to go, and then obviously you need a strategy plan to. It's like almost like a drone that you're gonna come out of the maze. Oh yeah, there, here we go. I want to go down, and then you know
yeah,
how to get yourself. And Rob mentioned the analogy of the squirrel that's in the woods, always fossicking around looking for food, and then a mentor would come along and help that squirrel to actually look to see beyond just the current day-to-day stuff, see the forest from the trees. And I think
yeah,
that's the real thing about the mentorship. I mean, when you think about a business, you and I and millions of other business owners out there here in Australia, in the world, is I know about numbers. You're very good at podcasting and social media stuff. But, there's a lot of stuff we got to know about, how do you do your marketing strategy, your your trade name specifications, your AIs, all this kind of thing. So in a business, you need somebody else to help you to look into ways to learn that other skills. Now, it's not that you're going to do courses and everything, but they are available through other programs, or the one, and a mentor would help you to guide you in the right direction to see that as well.
Yeah, something Rob is very passionate about is actually the mentorship program with
Yeah,
Polaris and
yeah,
the business fundamentals program. How can business owners kind of get involved with the mentorship
yeah.
available to them?
Obviously, if you're in South Australia and you would like to, South Australia and probably more closer to Salisbury area, you can sign up for the Polaris website as well, which you can probably put on the footnotes as well, and then get involved with the business fundamentals course. And during the fundamentals course, you might say you need a mentor for 3 hours, which is part of the cost that you'll pay for the fundamentals as well. And then that person will then help you to, and it's usually for people starting a business or perhaps 2 or 3 years into a business and they hit a bit of a brick wall and where do I go to where? So then they'll put you in touch with a mentor, and that mentor can help you guide through a system that you can decide, perhaps I'm barking up the wrong tree, or I need to change my business model, or I need to, think totally outside the square. And that's through Polaris, which I said I am associated with. I'm not an employee of Polaris, but I am associated because I work with Rob and some of the other
Yeah, you're one
people
of the
there
mentors.
on the mentorship
Yeah.
program as well.
So if
So
someone is interested in getting mentored by you, they're able to go through the program
go through the program,
and
perhaps.
request
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I'll probably more involved with the AMS program, but there's we've got a whole mentorship panel, and Rory was on the program before.
Yep.
Susanna's on that program, and there's about 10 other people as well,
Okay,
which are on this
amazing.
program. Hopefully, I can get them on, the program, talk a bit about their business experience in the next few
Makes you,
seasons as well. That would
yeah.
be great.
The final episode this season was all about pricing,
Yeah,
and I think you made a special announcement. Do you want to
yeah.
touch on that for us?
Well, I did say in the interview on of my sort of program on pricing how important pricing is, and we always look at pricing. What's the best price? And you can look at what your competitors are asking. You can work it out. I went through the whole system as how you can work it out just to really understand what costing is, and then put a markup on top of that. And I explained what is the difference between a markup and a margin. Do not get confused as well.
Yep.
I put into, and I'm not going to go through it now, but I gave the people a few formula hacks as well to get to a specific price of your product. If you know what your gross profit margin would be, and you know what you want your net profit margin to be like, and you know what your overheads, for instance, and you know what product you can possibly sell, to work it out backwards as well. And we did touch on this a few minutes ago, is the whole how pricing is changing in the world, how we price things as well. When you think about price is the amount that's that's agreed between a seller and a buyer, where the buyer would see the value. It's not about price, it's the value, is what can I do with that new BMW that I'm going to buy. Oh, it's going to make me feel like James Bond. Yeah, I want it. And you're going to have the money, perhaps. Not a lot of people have it straight out of their back pocket. But person, okay, 100,000. Yeah, no worries. 100,000. I'm going to feel like James Bond.
Yep.
Or you're going to say, oh, I want a really good car that's efficient and do stuff. And you know that for $50,000, you're going to get that kind of. So it's that value connotation that we as marketers and we as business people and we as bean counters need to get into the mode of, is to give the end consumer the choice. This is the value that you're going to receive from our product.
Well, if someone's looking to really focus in on their pricing strategy and
Mm,
don't think it's been working for them this year or the past years, what can they do? Is there something that you're able to help them with?
Oh, definitely. Oh, that's my product as well, which I've sort of created, and I want to launch it on the 13th of January. So please hit us up on the website, and you can get into line for early bird sort of specials.
Yeah, so
I'm
what's
talking about don't give specials,
yeah.
but anyway.
No, well,
Yeah,
it's a brand new product.
yeah.
Actually, two new products that
That's
you're
one. It's about
launching.
pricing, which is like a
Yeah.
smaller, and then the other one is like a quite a big involved product, which is helping you through a 3 months basis of really getting the understanding and the clarity that you need to drive your business, to drive your profits, to explore new markets, and how numbers. It's all about numbers at the end of the day. How that numbers can give you clarity and give you the new. It's going to pave the way to see new opportunities out there as well.
Yeah.
And that's what a product is about. Clarity. It's finding your purpose in your business as well, to make sure that your business is not just a business. It's really you are there for a cause, to help to help customers with, because we're all in business to solve problems, and to really dig into helping your customers to overcome their problems and really getting benefit out of your products as well. It sounds like I'm talking about branding stuff, but technically it's about numbers and having that clarity of your numbers as well.
There's some really big things coming in the new year.
Yes, yes,
And can you
that's right.
believe it? Season 3, that's a wrap.
Season 3 is a big wrap. It's a big
Yeah.
wrap up now. Talking
Yeah.
about wraps. We probably gotta start unwrapping our Christmas
Oh,
Christmas
yes,
presents soon.
Christmas now, New Year's, and then
Yeah.
we're
We're back on air on the 13th of January, I reckon. Yeah.
yeah. So what are some things, a
Yeah.
few tiny things that they can expect for the year to come?
So next season we'll perhaps try something else as well.
Yeah, different styles. So keep an
Different
eye out for that.
different styles. Really dig into more perhaps technical stuff here and there with snippets as well. Um, we still toying with the idea. Is it going to be long audio podcasts every week or every second week, and perhaps throw other more content driven or really technical stuff in between, in the forms of perhaps videos. So
Yeah.
we're still toying, but don't worry, I'm not going away. Your number man is here to stay. So absolutely, hit that subscribe button there, and keep us keep us in the game here, because Jenna is working extremely hard behind the scenes,
Thank you.
and we're working very hard to give you something exceptional here. Yeah,
100%. I think next
yeah,
year's going to be the best one yet. So
it's gonna
we
be.
can't wait to
Yeah.
see you all there.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely, Jenna. Thanks for all your hard work.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being an amazing host.
No, it's great. It's a pleasure. I've learned so much. I learned so much from my clients, from things that I've researched, talks that I've done, and a lot from you as well. That's great. It's and everybody else that was doing the comments, and I saw behind it, sort of met up with you in personal capacities, and gave me a little bit of advice here and there for where they think the podcast should go, and I've really taken everything up to heart. So, shall we call it a wrap then? Everybody, Merry Christmas and a happy New Year. We'll see you middle of the next year. Jenna's going to keep on creating nice content on the back.
Content won't stop.
Content won't stop. Newsletter, nice big newsletters coming out as well soon. And Jenna,
Yeah, we'll see you in the new year.
thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.